This Austrian virtual IT career day today, we are organizing on behalf of ABBA Work in Austria and of BISAP, that's the Upper Austrian Investment Promotion Agency. And I'd very much like to welcome Ines Vodanovic from ABBA Work in Austria and Michaela Schatzl from the BISAP from Upper Austria. But most of all, today we have 27 Austrian companies here that are looking for IT talent. And you can meet all of them later on after 2 presentations in the B2B one-on-one meetings via the B2Match tool. So this is your chance to talk to interesting Austrian companies who are looking for IT talent and hopefully find a match. Before I hand over to Ines Vodanovic for a short presentation of ABBA Work in Austria, I'd really like to thank Dominika Bratic from my team. She's the main organizer also of all the technology behind the whole thing, and she's going to lead you through the day. She's also there for any questions you might have. And coming to questions, actually, if you have any questions during the presentations or anything you might want to know, please use the chat tool, and we will work through the chat tool for the presentations, for your questions. And for the presentations, they will be sent to you. Again, if you have any questions, just come back to us, and we'll help you out. So that's all from my side, and I'm handing over now to Ines Vodanovic from ABBA Work in Austria for a short presentation on working in Austria. Thank you very much, Ines.
Thank you, Sonia, for the warm introduction and welcome. I don't know if you can see my presentation now. Sorry.
Not yet.
Not yet.
We have the preview now. So if you want to switch.
Ah, you have the preview, sorry.
There we go.
There you go. Thank you.
You're on.
Thank you. Do you hear me? Do you see me?
Absolutely. Perfect. Start away.
So, oh, sorry. Small technical problem. So, very warm welcome. Also from my side to the webinar Working and Living in Austria. My name is Ines Vodanovic, and together with my colleague Miss Olga Markina, I'm going to talk you through this webinar today. I'm representing Austrian Business Agency in Department of Work in Austria, and I will tell you a few sentences about us in general. Olga, would you like to tell us a few sentences as well? Olga?
Hello, everybody, and welcome also from my side. Nice to have you all here. If you have any questions during this webinar, please write them in the chat in English together with your contact details. So we will provide you with all necessary details after the webinar by mail. Or you can write me direct an email if you will find my contacts on the by the end of this presentation. After this webinar, we will send you all useful links to all participants. Enjoy the webinar.
Thank you, Olga. Our presentation will be in 2 parts. Firstly, we are going to give you some information about our agency in general and what or where you can get a further help if you decide to move to Austria, or you are already here, of course. Secondly, we will get information about life in Austria, about the advantages you have when you live and work in Austria. We are going to take a look at some facts and figures about, for example, housing options in Austria. Very important also to say this presentation aims to people who do not yet live in Austria, are thinking about moving to Austria. It will last about 35 minutes. And as an add-on, you will also get to know a little bit of German, as there will be some German words in German vocabulary in these presentations. So you are, of course, welcomed to invite to pronounce them loud, of course, if you can, if you are alone and you can do it. So, willkommen. So let us start. ABA in our logo stands for Austrian Business Agency. It is a state-owned agency which reports directly to the Federal Ministry of Labor and Economic Affairs. It was established in the late 80s. It consists of three departments, Invest in Austria, Work in Austria, and Film in Austria. Invest in Austria is a department which you can contact, of course, if you are wishing to expand your business to Austria and you have questions in that matter. Film in Austria will support you if you, for example, one day decide to make a movie in Austria and you're looking for the perfect location. You as well don't know which documents to submit or to what institution, then you can, of course, write to our colleagues. About Work in Austria, I will tell you more in the details in the next slides. So services of Work in Austria include participation in the events in target markets in virtual and presence form. We take part in hackathons, job fairs, different conferences. On our web page, workinaustria.com, you can also find an online job platform with lots of open positions Austria-wide. I always tell to the people, if you find something interesting on that platform, please contact those companies directly. So it's important for me to understand that we are not a headhunting agency. We are not a recruiting agency. So if you, when you find something interesting, I always emphasize, please write to those companies directly. If you have any questions regarding residence permits, visa, and entry regulations, our colleagues from our immigration office will answer all of them, of course, free of charge. You will find all the contacts on the end of this presentation. We offer our services to you as well to your family members who wants to, or to Austrian companies, of course, who are trying to employ employees from abroad, international talents. Relocation services is also one of our services that we offer. It's where Ms. Olga Markina is coming from this department. Relocation services include support with all questions regarding living and working in Austria in general, social insurance, education system, salary levels, free time possibilities, and of course much more. Here you can see a screenshot of our online job platform. There are many different job platforms in Austria. I always say our job platform is for sure not the only one. There are many others, but of course we recommend our own. You have here options to filter the results, look for the suitable positions. Platform is Austria-wide. It's been updated regularly, and for companies is of course free of charge. It's a screenshot of our one-of-a-kind guide for international skilled professionals who are now new to Austria. In the chapters about Austria, living, working, health, you can find a lot of information about life here. It's a book on 240 pages in English, and if you fill out the form on our webpage, workinaustria.com, we will send you the essential guide to your email address, of course, for free. On our web page, workinaustria.com, you will also find a free of charge immigration guide to Austria, also one of a kind on the market for the companies in Austria who employ internationals and for international skilled talents and their families who want to move or have moved to Austria already. We offer customized approach and personalized consultations concerning your individual requests, questions and processes. Due to the fact that we are a state-owned agency, we offer close cooperation and mediation with public authorities involved. That doesn't mean that we are going to take you by your hand and go with you from institution to institution. That doesn't mean that, but it means if you have submitted, let's say, a request for application for visa and you still haven't received any answer from that institution, or you are not sure what documents do you need to submit, or do you need to submit it in original or copy, do you need to translate it, and lots of other questions, then we can, of course, provide you help in that matter. Of course, it's all free of charge. Now, so that was our first part of introduction of ABA and work in Austria services. Now I would like to ask you what comes into mind when you think about Austria. Do you think about mountains and winter sports like skiing, or do you think maybe about Mozart or Sachertorte? Or maybe New Year's Eve concert, or Red Bull? Please share your thoughts and ideas with us in the chat, and I will ask Olga to read them to us if there are any, because I'm in the presentation modus and I don't see your questions at the moment. Olga, is there any associations already?
Not yet.
Not yet. We will wait. If there are no associations, then we will move forward. I would love now to move to our main question, why Austria and what makes Austria so attractive for you? So, as you all probably know, Austria has a central position in the heart of Europe. Many countries are in an easy reach. So if you live in Austria and like traveling, you will find many opportunities to do so. Lots of other European cities are only 1 and 1.5 maybe hour away by plane. Austria shares the longest border with Germany. Bratislava, as you can see, is the capital of Slovakia, is the nearest capital. Other countries as Croatia, Czechia, Hungary, Slovenia, Italy are nearby, and you can also travel to the sea. The distance between Klagenfurt and Trieste is only 180 kilometers. Some quick facts about Austria in general. If you move here, you won't be the only person with immigration background. Approximately 1/4 of all population has an immigration background. In Vienna, for example, where I live, this percentage is even higher. So every second person is in Vienna has a migration background. So it's a very, very multicultural country. Austria is also called one of the economic powerhouses of Europe, and as such, Austria is looking for skilled professionals in many fields. And you can also see here one greeting in German, Grüß Gott. Grüß Gott means hello. So you all have probably heard of a capital, Vienna, and its a vibrant culture. Maybe you have seen the Philharmonic Orchestra playing at the New Year's Eve concert, which is broadcasted to many countries worldwide. Maybe you have been to Vienna's museum, for example, Albertina or the Freud Museum. which is the place where Sigmund Freud developed psychoanalysis. Nevertheless, there is more to Austria than the capital, and we would recommend to also to have a closer look at other very attractive federal states of Austria. Maybe you don't know that the highest GDP per capita isn't in Vienna, but in one part of the Styria. Styria, it's one federal state in Austria. In Upper Styria, there is the highest GDP per capita in the whole Austria. That means, in other words, there are lots of good possibilities to work. As you can see also on the map, Austria is quite diverse, not only in its population and in landscapes, but also in its regional specialties, wineries in the eastern part, where you can drink very good wine, or the cheese production in the western part of Austria. Also, the industrial trends are diverse. So if you are interested in IT and software development, then I would recommend Upper Austria. If you are looking for a job in tourism, then I would suggest you to look for in Tyrol or Salzburg. There are very attractive places who are looking for experienced staff. Prost means cheers. Some interesting facts about Austria. There are 13 public holidays. 10 of them are connected with the Catholic faith, as Austria is predominantly a Catholic country. On this chart, you also see the decisive factors for the high quality of life. For example, the good quality of drinking water, which the Austrians are very proud of. Quite good, extensive social security net. Tourist attractions, of course, vary from where you are in the mountains. Of course, the hiking and skiing are a hip, where the musical events and concerts are taking place, of course, in the cities. Ein Glas Leitungswasser, bitte, means a glass of tap water, please. When we talk about housing options in Austria, there is a possibility to either rent or to buy a flat or a house. About 42% of all Austrians are renting, compared to 84% who are owning their place. The prices vary from region to region. As you can see on this slide, in Vienna and Vorarlberg, the prices for buying property are the highest, while in Styria and Burgenland, they are the lowest. Similar differences you can see in rental costs as well. Austria also offers access to public housing. There is an option for public housing across the country. For example, the public housing authority in Vienna, it's called Wiener Wohnen, owns and manages more than 200,000 public apartments. They are so-called Gemeindewohnungen. One out of every 4 Vienna citizens lives in public housing, 1 of 4. So it's a very popular thing. Requirements and application procedures depend, of course, vary from city to city, from region to region where you are. But in general, you need to require criteria like minimum age of 17 years, citizenship requirements. You have to have Austrian citizenship, EU member citizenship, citizens of Switzerland, permanent residents in the EU, refugees, according to the Geneva Conventions. The applicant's income should not exceed the annual threshold specified by the state, and there must be a specific housing need. Minimum time of primary residence, of course, is also very important. This, of course, depends on where you live, but in Vienna, for example, it requires 2 years of primary residence in Vienna. So if you have moved in the meantime, this 2-year period starts with a change of your address. Of course, you have to be registered at that address. You need to have a so-called registration certificate. It's called Meldezettel in Austria. If you are officially married or in a partnership, you and your spouse or partner, of course, need to apply together for this as joint tenants. Both you and your partner, or spouse or husband, you need to live and be registered at least 2 years at your address. To give you an insight in the cost of living in Austria, take a look at this graph. An Austrian household spends 3,250 a month. We are talking about an average size family of 2.2 people, 3,250. As the graph shows, quarter of the cost of living goes to housing and energy. Another quarter is spent on food, beverages, and transport. In our essential guide that I already mentioned in the beginning, you can also find a list of some average prices for some basic commodities like milk, bread, flour, apples, wine. So be free to take a look at the whole list if you are interested. Cost of living include also public transport. A single trip ticket costs 2 to 260, depending on which city you are in, with special, of course, discounts for students or retired people. The Vienna Lines is a network of buses, trams, and subways which serves more than 2.6 million passengers per day. So it's a huge. Vienna has a 6th largest tram network worldwide, and their trams are here namely called BIMS for the sound of the bell. Also very popular is this annual card, so-called Jahreskarte, annual pass, which costs in Vienna 365 euros. That means it would be €1 per day. So for €1 per day, you can travel Vienna, in the whole Vienna every day. Also, one specific thing: more people, more Viennese own a Jahreskarte, annual card, annual pass, than they own a car. So it's a very popular transportation means. So the name of this presentation is Working and Living in Austria. Now we are switching to this working part, but before you start working, you need to, of course, to register. Upon arrival in Austria, it is necessary to register at the registration office that I already mentioned. It's called Meldeamt, and obtain a certificate of registration, Meldezettel. The employer registers you at a health insurance fund, and you receive a social security number, so-called Sozialversicherungsnummer. You should also submit a request for a photo e-card to the police with delivery, of course, of 2 photos. The e-card arrives at your home address. And within 4 months after registration, you at the Meldeamt, you should submit an application for Aufenthaltsbescheinigung to the registration office. Upon request, you have to submit your certificate of registration, so your Meldezettel, employment contract, e-card, and maybe some other documents which are necessary or are needed, requested by the institution. Now you will find out some more information about working in Austria. Please write your answer in the chat. What do you think? Which are the Austrian companies that you can see on this slide? Which one do you associate with Austria? So Olga, could you please read them to us? Because I don't see them. Olga, are there any answers?
Not yet.
Okay. People are today very shy. Maybe it's too early for it.
I think it's a technical problem. I can't see the information from participants.
Sorry. Maybe Dominika sees them and we will then see them afterwards, after the presentation. Probably Dominika sees them. But nevertheless, I will go through.
Yeah, yes, I see. I see some of them: Raiffeisen Bank and Red Bull.
Those were the associations.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Thanks. Well, thank you, Dominika. Well, you might be surprised, but all of these companies are Austrian companies. Some of them are unicorns. Unicorns, for the one who doesn't know, is a privately owned startup business worth more than 1 billion in the first 10 years after founding. According to a recent study, Austria now has six unicorns. Bitpanda, for example, Austria's first unicorn, is a crypto exchange. It was founded in 2014. GoStudent is Vienna startup, unicorn as well, platform and app that offers one-on-one tutoring lessons. Tricentis specializes in automated software testing and is one of the Austria's first unicorns. Viennese software scale-up TTT Tech offers technology for autonomous driving, also a unicorn, established in 2018. Copa Data, a manufacturer of industrial automation software based in Salzburg, with annual sales in 2021 of 64 million euros. Loxone, manufacturer of smart home solutions based in Upper Austria, also a unicorn. Strabag, construction companies, 80,000 people Europe-wide. Runtastic started as a small startup, was very successful, specializes on IT solutions for sport, developed fitness apps, corporates with Adidas. Red Bull, already mentioned, famous for its soft drinks. Swarovski produces jewelry, well known for its crystal stones. In 2022, Swarovski did the stage design of the Oscar presentations of Oscar. OMV, a petrol and energy producing company, also invests in sustainable energies as wind energy or hydrogen or geothermal. Raiffeisen Bank, popular. The whole idea behind this slide is to make you aware of lots of good companies that there are on the Austrian market, maybe not well known, but or necessarily not necessarily well known to the public, but very big in numbers, as you can see. And yeah, I always suggest to the people, do your own research. Look for those companies, apply initially. Don't wait for those companies or any other to publish open positions. Then it's mostly too late. Be always suggest to the people, be proactive. Some quick facts about working in Austria in general. Working conditions, maybe important to emphasize. About 90% of all employees are covered by collective agreements, which provide a legal framework for minimum wages, working hours, termination conditions. All Austrian employees are automatically covered by health and accident insurance. The social insurance contributions lead to a very good social system, so you can get sick leave, unemployment benefits, free access to medical treatment, and you pay towards, of course, towards your pension. And one curiosity, in Austria, you get 14 monthly salaries. They are regulated by collective agreements as well. So you receive your 13 monthly salary with your paycheck for May or June, it depends on the company, and you receive your 14th monthly salary in December. It's like Christmas money in December, and it's vacation money in the summer, we always say. But it's a curiosity, not all people are aware of this fact. And this 13th and 14th monthly salary are much higher than your usual 12 monthly salaries, because you receive almost the whole brutto as netto. If you want to work in regulated jobs, as for example, doctor, teacher, civil engineer, then you have to submit for the recognition of your qualifications at Berufsanerkennung website. Berufsanerkennung, it means recognition of qualifications, is often also very useful for family members who are looking for jobs in Austria. You have already learned a few words in German during this presentation. Maybe you remember them, like Jahreskarte, Prost, Meldezettel. What I wanted to say is that learning German is important in many cases for your career in Austria, but also for your everyday life. Ideally, you are already learning German before coming to Austria. In Austria, there are many possibilities to learn the language and also to get some financial support for that. I would like also to emphasize, if you are and I hope the companies that you are going to meet afterwards are going to emphasize that as well. If you are coming from ICT sector, IT branch, then it is not so important for your working life. Of course, it is an advantage for you if you can speak German on the street, on the corridor, in the shopping. But if you're coming from ICT sector, in 90% of the cases, you just need a good English level, and that's enough to start working in Austria. This is maybe not so relevant. This slide is maybe not so relevant for the people who are coming from Croatia and having Croatian citizenship, because the fact that Croatia is, of course, an EU member state. But if you are coming from so-called third country, if you are third country national, then you have to go through these 6 steps of immigration. It's for instance, the citizens of Albania or Kosovo or North Macedonia. You have to have a binding long-term job offer with the company in Austria. So you will need to apply for a residence and work permit before you can start working. In most cases, the permit you apply for is called the red, white, red card. The path towards working in company with such a job offer you can see on this slide. First, you need to submit some documents, depending, of course, on your qualifications, age, professional experience, personal situation. My colleague will let you know all about that once you have in fact secured a binding job offer in your professional field. It's that immigration office of ours that I mentioned on the beginning. Once all documents from you and your employer and your family side are collected, the application for your permit is submitted, ideally by your future employer in Austria, to the immigration authority in Austria. Followingly, the different authorities in Austria process your application. This usually takes several weeks, we have to say that. And when you receive preliminary approval, you immigrate to Austria and are invited to personal appointment at the immigration authority, where you give your fingerprints and present certain personal documents like your passport. After that, the permit card, which looks like a driver's license, EU driver's license, is printed, and you are invited to pick it up and can only start working once you have indeed picked it up from the authority. The great thing to know about Austrian immigration and residence law is that red, white, red card or the EU blue card are the first steps toward permanent residence in Austria. So you can see on this slide, both you and your family would ideally receive residence permits that are valid for 2 years in the first step. Your family is defined as your husband, wife, or registered partner, and your minor children. So no cousins, relatives are defined as a family, it's not enough for you to get a red by red card in Austria. You are also important to say you're bound to your employer for these 2 years in contract. After those 2 years, you can all switch to the 3-year RVR card plus. And after a total of 5 years of continuous residence in Austria, you can apply for the long-term residence EU permit, which is valid for 5 years. Maybe it sounds complicated, but it's not. And I always say, if you have any help, any questions, if you need help and you have any questions about that, please reach out to me and my colleagues. You will receive them. I will get you their contacts, of course, in the end of this presentation. So you can find here, you can find a summary of some useful links where you can find all necessary information. After the webinar, we will send it out to all participants. Very important is this email address, sorry, immigration@aba.gv.at. Those are my colleagues who will answer all your questions. Here you can find their names and contact details. Ms. Stephanie Flash, Ms. Veronica Tillian, and Ms. Jasmin Tiegelbecker are the faces behind this email address who are going to answer all your questions regarding your immigration or residence permit. Here you can also find mine as well as the contact of Ms. Markina. Thank you all for your time and participating in this webinar. If you have any questions regarding living and working in Austria, please do not hesitate. We will send out after this webinar all the necessary contacts and data to all of you who participated. I wish you all good luck today and pleasant, of course, the rest of the day. Thank you. Dominica, I will now give you back. The stage is yours.
Thank you once again for the detailed presentation. Listening to all this makes me want to move from Zagreb to Austria right away. By the way, my name is Dominica and I work for the Austrian Trade Commission in Croatia. Do you have any questions for Ines? I don't see any here. So then, if not, let's move to the second presentation by Michaela Schatzler from Business2Upper Austria. So just give me a second, please, to share the presentation. Okay. Okay. So, Michaela, do you see the presentation?
Thank you, thank you. Do you hear me? Is everything okay? Okay, perfect. So good morning, everyone, also from my side. My name is, as you said before, Michaela Schatzl, and I'm the program manager of the Welcome2Upper Austria initiative. We are a region in Austria. Some of you might know it from holidays or whatever. So what do? We are the Welcome2Upper Austria Service Center. We are your first contact if you decide to move to Upper Austria, to this region. Today you have the chance to get to know some innovative Upper Austrian companies, so we're really looking forward to that. Next slide, thank you. If you're now thinking why you should consider working in Austria, and especially in Upper Austria, as a location, Upper Austria has many benefits to offer. We heard some already from the ABA, but apart from its great geographical location, this picturesque nature, Upper Austria has a diverse mix of industries. We have a very good infrastructure and excellent healthcare. And overall, also a safe living environment. Furthermore, Upper Austria is the home of some of the most innovative companies in the world. To sum up, Upper Austria is the perfect place to live in the heart of Europe, besides Croatia, of course. Next slide, please. So, how can the Welcome2Upper Austria team help you? As you see on this slide, we provide you with information about every aspect of your relocation process to this beautiful country. Due to our close connection to important institutions, we can guide you through everything from getting a work permit to finding you a new home, or help to find you a new home. Next slide, please. Our services cover the 3 parts of living in the middle, studying. Also, if you want to work and study, we can help you by that, give you information about universities and things like that. Or if you say, no, I'm really into it, I've finished my studies, I want to pursue a career here in Upper Austria, we help you by that. Next slide. So everything about our services, additional information can also be found in our pocket guide. There's a hard copy which you can get when you're already here, but it's also downloadable for free on our website. Thank you. So, about living. To facilitate the settling in process, we regularly organize information and socializing events for you and also your families. It's very important that you also have your network here, that you have friends here. And moreover to this information on social events, we're giving you tips on how to enjoy your free time, which is also very important for you. Next slide, please. So, due to our world-leading tech companies here in Upper Austria, we are also called the industrial powerhouse of Austria. The rising numbers of IT startups, for example, the fast company expansions lead to continuous job opportunities in this sector. So if you're looking for an IT job, you're very welcome here in Upper Austria, because there are a lot of free and open positions. Next slide. So if you're already here in Austria, we have an international house here in Linz, for example, but we do also have regional, we have persons who help you in every region in Upper Austria. If you have any questions regarding our services or about how to move to Upper Austria, don't hesitate to contact us via info@welcome2upper or directly you can contact my colleague Evelyn Hetzinger. She has open ears for you. Next slide, please. If you need more information, have a look at our website www.welcome2upperaustria.com. If you cannot find a job today, which I hope you will, but still we have a career platform for companies and talents in Upper Austria. So just click on this link or click on our website, and then you see on the very right side the career portal, and you can find more open jobs there from Upper Austrian companies. If you are interested in participating in our international recruiting project, which includes free housing in the first month and free German course for up to 1 year or B1 level, you can click on the website Come to Austria and have all the information there, how to participate and how to find a job via this tool. I wish you all the best for the one-to-one meetings with the very interesting companies today, and hope I have cross my fingers, or as we do it here in Austria, like this. I wish you all the best, wish you good luck, and I hope to see you soon in Austria or even in Upper Austria. Thank you so much. Have fun today. If there are any questions now, you can write them into the chat, or if you want to contact us later, just write us an email or via Dominika.
Yeah, thank you very much for this interesting and very short presentation, Michaela. Are there any questions for Michaela? Let me see. Well, I don't see any questions. Then Thank you once again for your attention. We will send you the recording link afterwards. As you know, your interviews with potential employers will take place from 10:30 on B2 Match. And we wish you good luck with the job interviews and say goodbye until the next year. Bye.